Hello everybody, this is Anansi from Ocean Esports with another Top 100 Dotabuff replaycast. Today we're going to be watching the President of Ass on Ursa. He's ranked second, well, number one if you don't count pro players. He's got a 70% win rate over 2,000 games played on Ursa. That amounts to 50 days, according to Dotabuff, almost 51 of just playing Ursa. So that's 2 months, yeah, 2 months worth of just playing Ursa. Insane. What we do here is we're going to watch everything from his perspective, see how he plays Ursa, see if we can learn anything from the way he does that, and hopefully apply that to our own pub games when we're playing solo. So without further ado, just gonna observe. I'm gonna learn some stuff, and I hope you guys too. First thing you clearly see is that he is definitely paying attention to the whole map. He's looking at what items everybody has, not just his opponents, but also his own teammates. So he's making efficient use of his time. He's, wow, he's actually pretty aggressive in making sure he has vision of where that Earthshaker wants to place his ward. So that Earthshaker could place the ward, but he wouldn't. He would know where it was in any case. So I think that's a really good thing. A lot of carries just sit back and wait at the bounty rune. I mean, what are most people doing under 4.5k at this point in time? They're just waiting at the bounty rune. So that's much more. It's really solid that he does that. Heads over to the bounty rune as well. Knows that he can do a lot of damage. They should be pretty scared of him. Doesn't manage to get the bounty rune though. But what was the risk? He knew that all three heroes were over in that area, all three opposing heroes, so they weren't trying to take his bounty rune. This is a risk that was worth taking, I think, especially with his known teammates to back him up. He could easily have taken their bounty rune instead and maybe got a kill. Heads over into lane, pretty much straight away, nothing too crazy. Checks the stat screen real quick. It's clear. It should be noted that he seems to have quite some regen with him. Not all players tend to do that, but he has 3 items that give him some form of sustainability, and I've mentioned it in a past cast, so to speak. Staying power wins games, guys. Your ability to stay in your lane and to get experience and last hits early really makes a difference and provides a lot of consistency. Trips back to base are one of the main reasons that lower level players don't get higher up, because your opponent gets to enjoy the lane. Don't know if you noticed right there, but he reminded his support to stack. He didn't get angry at his support for not stacking. Maybe he raged at him over Mike. I guess we don't know. But he did. He before the support needed to stack, he let his support know he should stack. So that's a proactive thing that he's doing, which is really good. Just getting angry at somebody after they didn't do anything, when they can't do anything, that's not very useful. It's much better to pinpoint, hey, go do this, when the person has ample time, instead of either sulking because your support is not doing what you want him to do, or just getting angry at them after the fact. I like how he moves closer to his support and the Earthshaker. When he moved over here to get his last hits, he put himself in a position to still be getting his last hits, but also be ready to help out his teammate and scare the Earthshaker away from going for that camp. So he's still achieving his goal of getting as many last hits as possible, while at the same time applying pressure to the Earthshaker and not letting the guy get too comfortable. It's pretty aggressive, pretty confident in just outputting quite a lot of damage onto the Earthshaker. He's all by himself. He doesn't need a support there. It's a melee versus melee, and Ursa will beat just about anybody. Ooh, I really like his dodge there. He went in, dodged the stun, and then went back in and got a few hits off. And is her mana? No, her mana is not going to be off. She's not going to have enough mana in time, but in any case, they're applying a lot of pressure onto this Earthshaker. and that will help him keep his lane up. He doesn't allow that Earthshaker to get any important denies off. Range creeps are important, so keep that. And I think this Earthshaker is playing it pretty well. He's being pressured pretty hard, but he's managing to stay in lane and get his levels, so he's also getting what he wants, but I'm sure this Ursa is happier with just getting what he needs and is confident that he'll close the game out as long as things go well for him. Speaking of that, last hits and denies. Where is he at? He's on top? Yes, he is. Yeah, he's got 21 last hits. He doesn't have as many denies as the Tinker does, but he's doing pretty well for himself, for sure. What does that translate to in net worth? Let's just take a quick look. About 1,800 gold, so he's a good 300. Like, that's boots worth above the next most farmed hero at this point in the game already. These incremental little things, they make a big difference as the game progresses. The first items he's gone for are Phase Boots and Orb of Venom. I really like this because what is one of Ursa's biggest problems? It's getting kited. So this is 250 gold into which allows him to get maybe just one extra hit off because of a tiny slow that somebody's going to have. And one extra hit from an Ursa is quite a big deal, especially early on. So I think this is a really good investment. I'm not saying that I've never seen an Ursa get it, but I like that he does get it in any case. Definitely something to take away and apply. Again, he moves to the side shop, gets into the minute. He buys his item as far away from the side shop as he can. He doesn't walk all the way to the side shop, wait there, standing there for ages, thinking about what he's going to buy, because that wastes a lot of time. He's pretty he knows what he wants to buy already. He knows he has the gold, so he just gets he gets the item while he's in between creep hits. That's a really consistent theme, I'd say, that I see better players do in the safe and off lane. And I see lower level players not yet knowing what they want to buy and walking all the way there and potentially missing one or two last hits. And you might think, what are one or two last hits? Well, it's 100 gold one time. And it probably isn't the only time it happens, so it ends up at the end of the laning phase maybe making a pretty significant deal. I mean, maybe it's, I don't know, I'm not going to say it's 500 gold or more or anything. But yeah, it can make a difference. In any case, yeah, he is getting kited, but nice. Manages to get the kill off with a max range Earthshock. Yeah. Well played, I think. Too bad that the Crystal Maiden died. But again, he's getting what he needs, and if you're good enough, that's probably enough to end up winning you the game. So what's he gonna go for next? He's got 1,000 gold. Okay, I like this. He TPs to a shrine. This is, yeah, I think I've been noticing this recently. I think I saw this with the Clockwork as well, with Jafari Park. TP to the shrine and then walk back, or apply pressure or something. I have really only seen this in high level pubs, so I think this is a really cool thing to see, and consistent across multiple heroes. That Earthshaker can't miss. Ooh, wow. Level 6. Oh! Ooh, ho, ho. Okay. I didn't think he would have a problem making it through that, but apparently he did. Well played to the Earthshaker there, getting out with 100 HP. And that's too bad. Well, the president of AS apparently can make mistakes. What does he do? While he's dead, he's paying attention to the map. Before he respawns, he's already thinking about what it is that he's going to want to be doing, and he heads on over to where he needs to be. Too bad that his TP is on cooldown. That is, I guess, yeah, in part due to the fact that he TP'd to the shrine. Really shouldn't have died. I think that is quite a costly mistake in hindsight, but we'll see if he manages to come back from this type of a start. So what does he do? Straight away, just runs on in there, dives that Earthshaker, falls in, doesn't really seem to care. Gets again a max range Earthshock off in order to finish the Earthshaker off and before the tower kills him. Well played, because the Earthshaker was trying to run around in circles around the tower to buy time, and I think if he hadn't done that, he could have been a goner again. It's important to finish your opponents off quickly. Looking at his items, he's going for a Vlad's. Starts off with the Ring of Basilius. Did pick up his headdress, I guess, back at base. So, good job to him for doing that. Looks like he's just gonna go stack for a while. His wave is pushed up, so he pulls and stacks. And yeah, that's a doubly effective play. Okay, the pull doesn't work. Blocks? Not sure. Ooh, that is a really big play. I mean, that Visage would have TP'd. Instead of being able, not only does he die, but he also is not there to help his teammates who might have been expecting him, who might then overextend, which is pretty bad. Earthshaker back in lane. He's slowly making his way to his Vlads, and just very focused on getting his last hits and applying pressure to this bottom tower. So he's not only farming, he's farming, but at the same time forcing a reaction from his opponents by pushing this tower. If his opponents don't show up, then not only does he get farm, but he also gets a tower, which helps his team in map control later in the game. So as carries, don't only farm, also push in order to make it so that somebody has to defend from your opponents, and that means that as this fight's going on, but it means that your opponents can't be applying pressure to your teammates because they're trying to stop you from getting a tower and gaining map control for your team later, which makes the game easier in turn for your teammates. Gets out safely, quickly, and what's he gonna do now? Tinker has his boots of travel, so Tinker can now make sure at least that the lanes aren't going to be pushed. He's just going to be spamming March the Machines. Okay, they get a semi-simple. Nope. Crystal Maiden out of range. Note, this is actually also key. I am just watching things from his perspective, so he is watching fights and areas that he is moving towards. What this allows a player to do is once they get there, they know exactly how to react. They can see his own hero was safe for this whole trip down here. If you look at the minimap, he didn't need to really worry. I mean, 99% of the time, you don't really need to worry. But, quick kill. And it means that you're prepared for what needs to happen, and you know how to initiate or how to move because you've been watching the fight and you know which spells are off cooldown. You don't need to ask anybody that. You can just do what you need to do. It's a basic, it's a very integral thing that needs to be implemented if you don't already do it. So all this time, I think he's forced quite a few rotations. Quite numerous different heroes have been in his lane. He just stays bottom and he just keeps on applying pressure. Watches, has a TP ready, sees that he doesn't need to, so then he goes back to pushing. that smoke screen was too slow. Very unfortunate. And yeah, that's a dead Ursa. The fact that smoke screen wasn't cast there, I'm not sure if Ricky doesn't have it or not. Does have a level 1 smoke screen. So, but the fact that that wasn't cast completely messed that up. That Earthshaker ult was extremely strong. In any case, his team is actually behind. This is the second best Ursa player in the world, guys. So let's see if he manages to come back, what he manages to do, because I don't think he's had the easiest time in the world. I mean, he still managed to get a Vlad's orb and phase boots, but 12, 14 minutes, it's not the most amazing farm I've ever seen. Wow, does manage to get that denied. That's a pretty big play, but I wonder if it'll cost him his life. Very well could. His team is showing up, ready to back him up, and I think he'll probably be turning in a second. So instead of actually chasing the heroes there, he takes down the familiars, which is a pretty good play because I think they're worth about 150 gold each. That's pretty much as much gold as a kill. So instead of going for it's not really a high risk play, but it's a less likely to succeed play in killing the heroes, he just took down the familiars. His team got 1 kill on the Visage, but he still made 300 gold, which is pretty good. And it was also unlikely that Visage would have been controlling those familiars and getting rid of them, because Visage is getting chased himself. So it takes a pretty good player to be thinking about the minions that you control while you yourself are being under pressure, being pressured. Chens have similar issues as well. Very minor efficiency. Orb of Venom does deal some damage, very little damage, but that one creep there at the end, he actually let that live, knowing that it would die to the poison damage. So that meant that he could get to another camp quicker. That's just a tiny little efficiency, and those few seconds might mean the difference between whether or not you kill a camp right before a new one spawns, as opposed to killing it right after a new one should have spawned, and then suddenly those few seconds that you just saved by not last hitting that one creep because it was going to die to the poison damage anyways, turns into about 150 gold extra. Again, 150 gold isn't that much, but if you do that consistently, game after game, throughout a whole game, it starts to add up. It starts to add up, especially if it's one of the few things, like being quicker to the side shop, and it's all those little things that add up to help make you, I guess, one of the best Ursa players there is. Next item, Blink Dagger. We all know Ursa's biggest weakness, we'll say, is being kited, so Blink, of course, is a very standard item. Does get static linked. I wonder how he'll deal with that. Doesn't seem to care. He'd really like to get those familiars. He's pretty good against those. 100 gold each, but, or 100 XP. So lately we've seen quite some high-level Ursa play. A lot of pro teams have been picking him up. He's a very resilient carry, and burst damage has its advantages in that the quicker you take an opposing hero out, this will always be true of Dota. As soon as you take one hero out, that's 20% of another team. That's 4 spells or 4 abilities which are not in the game anymore. And Ursa provides that in a physical damage way. I mean, yeah, it's right click, but it's pretty fast. He can take a hero out in a matter of seconds. So his ability to burst the hero down is extremely powerful and quite valued, especially in the most recent patches. In any case, apparently there was an observer ward dropped for somebody. He's just chilling, killing ancients, still watching the fight though, still paying attention to the minimap. That's map awareness, and he seems to be doing a great job of that. He gets his blink sent over. A little slow on the courier control, but hey. Seems to be notifying his teammates that they need to be using that observer ward. Being a single target hero, he takes out the bigger creeps before he takes out the little creeps. In case it isn't clear why he might do that, that's because they do more damage. And he can take one hero out very quickly, so as I say that, he decides to take out the little creep before the bigger creep. That's just great. I will not comment on that. In any case, Blink Dagger is in. He'll be a lot more mobile, be able to move around the map a lot better. 4 seconds until a new set of creeps spawn, so he goes back, decides not to go for the ancients. Don't know if maybe he thought it was too dangerous. Curious why. I'd love to ask him. Oh, can you blink from there? Oh, nice. That is awesome. I did not know that. I did not know that was in blink range. Okay. Okay. That's one of those things. Okay, cool. That's just, now you guys know. Not if you watch this video, you know that trick. If you didn't, you don't. So he doesn't even need smoke. That's really great. Great radiant advantage for taking a Roche. I wonder if there's a spot that's in range on the dire side. That is really interesting. So yeah, he does what Ursa should do. Takes Roche. Has been in the jungle for a while, so he's been off the map, so I guess he's out of the minds of his opponent. And as soon as he has Roche, he makes sure to get some kills. And he's super aggressive. He doesn't mind that he's gonna, he's just diving. It's all good. Ready to blink. Oh, I love the speed with which he blinks there. Ooh, yep. Ult is used to keep him there. I think he'll be able to get away though. It's only a Winter Wyvern. Yep. Okay. Blinks back, hoping that the Winter Wyvern would have stayed, but Wyvern was played it safe, played it smart. Did not chase. Chasing often bad. Doesn't go for the Wind Ranger because she can Wind Run, makes her immune to him. So she's not. I mean, maybe if he gets a basher and gets a bash off before she Wind Runs, but otherwise, she's not somebody he's going to be killing. So he doesn't bother. That would be a waste of his time. And I think that was a better decision. Next item he's going for is a Diffusal Blade. I think that's pretty cool. I see. I mean, the mana burn, is that strong against them? I guess it's more for the control. Again, what is Ursa's biggest problem? It's being kited, and you can purge an opposing player just for the slow, actually, and it's a good alternative to Basher. The agility could be nice. Int is nice too. I really like it. Yeah, it's not the craziest pickup. It's not something that's unheard of, but I definitely like that he's picking it up because it's not what you see Ursa's get straight away every game necessarily. Cool pickup. I'd like to see how he uses it once he gets it. Synergizes with the Riki as well, the Smoke Cloud. I mean, Riki tends to get the item himself, so maybe that's the reason he goes for that right now. Very kind of the Crystal Maiden to give him a quick mana potion, and he jumps in behind the Razor to finish him off. That Razor's not going to be enjoying himself. Remember how bad of a start this Ursa had, guys? It sure as hell is not feeling like the game is that hard right now. There's a 13k gold lead. He's farming his opponent's forest. He's not farming his own forest, right? So he can enjoy this forest. He's safe. He knows he's strong. So he might as well farm here to apply pressure. Like, just by being here, they have to be scared to go here. If they want to farm, some smarter players will then smoke and go into his forest, but they are way further away from their base. They're just increasing the likeliness that they're taking a risk. So well played to him in knowing that, okay, you know, his team's doing well, and sure enough, he's going to go back to farming this area of the map in order to avoid, yeah, in order to keep up the pressure on his opponents. Yeah, decides not to go any further than that. I think he's in a bit of an aggressive position here, though, especially with the Earthshaker being where he was. Yeah, that was a little bit ball. Water is he being flamed? I'm so curious. Ricky. Oh, okay. Wow. Again, he died. He actually probably misplayed. I think he misplayed in any case there, but maybe he was thinking something and something went wrong. Whatever. But while he's off, he is paying attention to the whole map. His focus is on this game, not something else. He's not getting down on himself about, oh, I made a mistake, or somebody should have been there to back me up, or something. He's just paying attention to, okay, what does Razor have? What was Tinker doing down there? So, sure enough, he's TPing into Shrine now. He's been watching this whole fight. He knows exactly where to go. And before the fight, again, he's gonna blink in. Oh, too bad about it. Okay, that's really unfortunate. Those trees. But in any case, he was ready to jump in. He was ready to contribute to the fight. He saw how the fight was going. He knew where he needed to be. And that only happens knowing what's going on, gathering as much information as you can allows you to make better decisions. So do that. So again, just farms their ancients, takes farm away from them. As it's getting a bit dangerous, he goes back to his own ancients. Those are the closest. So yeah, this is pretty interesting. When you look at it this way, it's like he has ancient control. He's exclusively farming all the ancients on the map. It's like the gold resource camps in StarCraft or something. It does help to have a Ricky who's going crazy. Let's just take a look at the net worth that they all have. He's third in net worth. He does have Tinker and Nature's Prophet. Those are two very greedy heroes. Whoops, sorry about that. Those are two pretty greedy heroes. So he might not always get the farm that he would want, but I guess in taking ancients, he finds a way to get what he needs. Just staying in their forest, aggressive positioning. His team has map control, so there's no reason to go back to his own forest. A lot of lower level players would just stay in their own forest, go farm there. There is farm there. Why not? You're safer there, right? Yeah, but your team has a 15k gold leech, so choke the other team. Take away their resources. Bait them into coming to you. Maybe they don't expect you to be there. Just kill them when they show up. And sure enough, there's a really juicy Earthshaker. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, just blinked to the wrong spot. In any case, yeah, just continuing to farm while farming, continuing to keep an eye on the map, working towards his BKB, and he'll probably want to close the game out once he has that. He has a 12. His team has a 12k gold advantage. I think you guys can feel it when you watch this game as well. It might feel like his team is just they're doing super well. The score, however, is 25 to 23. They don't exactly have the best pushers. I mean, yes, Nature's Prophet, but Nature's Prophet is not on the map right now. The opposing team is extremely busy with Ricky. I like this. Ricky dies, and he still he pulls up the overview instantly to see what the state of the game really is. How is everybody truly doing? He does know that he is just farming, and even though his team has a clear advantage in net worth, they're not ready to take high ground yet because they can't dive the base. If they were to dive the base against an Earthshaker, well, first of all, yeah, just an Earthshaker, but also a Winter Wyvern, that could end up pretty badly. Winter Wyvern in an enclosed area can be a really big problem. So that, yeah, it's really good that he undertook that. I think that's a dead Ursa for sure. And sure enough, that did not end too well. Ooh, that Tinker barely made it out alive. Razor dealing a lot of damage and surviving the fight. Unfortunate, but that kind of goes to show that taking high ground would not have been too great. Would not necessarily have been a very good idea. I mean, that wasn't even a high ground fight. Razor is now second in net worth, and Ursa himself is third. I'm surprised at the Nature's Prophet, but we don't care about the Nature's Prophet, so. And that's his own problem. Working towards his BKB still. Not sure exactly how far away he was. I think we'll see in a second. And just paying attention to the map. It also helps you get a feel for what your teammates are like. If you see what they do while you're not there, you have a better idea for what they will and will not do when you are there. You know, that axe that's on your team, is he the type of guy who's actually going to initiate or not? Really? That range as well? Okay, maybe there are multiple spots to blink in from. That's... Huh. I mean, hey, I'm not an Ursa player, guys. I'm definitely learning quite a bit here. So I'll be taking this that away from his games for sure. The distance at which he can blink in. Cool. Picks up Cheese and Aegis, makes his team a lot of money. That's the second row she's taken, and just continues to farm. Gets his BKB sent over. And clears up some slots for where he wants his BKB. So he has bindings for specific slots. I'm sure all of you guys do as well. And clears up a slot for his BKB to go into, which is just that little bit more efficient. It's good to have that prepared. Oh, he bought wards. That was very clear right there. He bought wards, dropped them from his stash. He bought 3 wards for his team. That is really cool. Yeah, guys, buy wards for your team. When there aren't wards, don't. I haven't seen him a single time say, "We need wards." He just bought the wards and dropped them. 300 gold to him is nothing. Compared to 300 gold for his supports, which is probably a lot more. I see his frustration, however, in the fact that they are still not being picked up. Maybe it would be helpful to chat or something, but that might take time from killing creeps or heroes. I don't know. At the very least, he bought them. You saw it here, guys. The president of Ass buys wards, so you should too. No creeps there. See a double damage rune top. Probably be picking that up in a second and then hope to make something happen with that. Nope. Ricky got it. And he's just going to continue farming. Maybe buyback? Enjoy this time that he has with the Aegis. They can't really do much. I am a little bit surprised here. I would have thought they would be applying more pressure right now. Okay. The Tinker's deciding that. But the Ricky is already gone on. I wonder if they'll be able to make anything happen. He's being scouted. I like that he turns. Okay, but then gets away. Has 84 damage drained. Very curious if he can purge that off of himself. Probably not worth it at this point. In any case, got his damage back, goes back to farming. Constantly keeping an eye, keeping his finger on the pulse of this game. I really wonder what it is he wants to do next. What is everything like? What's the situation? Wow, Visage doing extremely well. And he manages to get the Visage right there as well. This guy is so tanky. He's standing in the middle of 4 heroes. Oh yeah, and he's got an Aegis. Just does not care. Helps out his teammates, gets rid of the Razor. 471 gold his way. Still has cheese. And goes straight to pushing, focusing on objectives. Here's an Ethereal Blade. Tries to figure out straight away where that was. Luckily it was just on a familiar. Unfortunately, Ursa's not the best pusher. I wonder how fruitful this is going to be. Especially with a Winter Wyvern there, who's a pretty good anti-pusher. Oh. Ooh, Shackle Shot, unfortunate. But he does have cheese, of course. And luckily Nature's Prophet can just TP over. Decides to go back in to help his teammate? No? Yes. Huh. Missed that. I like that. He used the Diffusal Blade on the Wind Ranger right after the Wind Ranger Wind Ran. So that makes her Wind Run semi-useless. I mean, still strong. And again, using it on the Visage. The control, super powerful. Okay. Does manage to make it out. Yeah, having his damage drained, very unfortunate because it also means he can't heal himself. Vlad's becomes more useless as well, or is decreased in power. In the meantime, however, his teammates are taking the whole base. So they've got half the Raxes down. 28k gold lead. Pretty sure he should be able to close this out. Again, still paying attention to the game. Maybe not. Yes, he is. He has also gotten his sound effects. I don't think that was significant enough for the opposing team to come back from. It's 27k down. But so, as a bit of a recap, key things I learned. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that prophet. That is one dead prophet. No, he's not. That is not a dead prophet. Well played. In any case, I think the blink range, that was definitely key. The amount of vision he keeps of the opponents, how well he focuses on everything. The blink range in Roche, very strong. I liked his use of Diffusal Blade. He picked up a late Desolator. That is pretty cool. Desolator is no longer a unique attack modifier. I think that's a pretty cool pickup. Deso Diffusal Ursa. Seems pretty strong. Legit. Will help the push, but will also help him take down key heroes. Doesn't bother to go for the shrines. Maybe not worth it. Maybe he just forgot. Even though he had a bad start, he himself had a bad start. I think his team was still fine. Yeah, they can just burst down those racks. And yeah, with mega creeps on top of everything else. Very hard time seeing how they're going to make it through the opposing team. Goes for the Visage first. That's a high priority target, I think, or a high value target in any case. Not very many last hits, but... Oh wow, for the amount of kills Visage had. Did not have yeah, he's third. Didn't have that much net worth. So he ends the game third, pretty much as it should be. Be surprised. I mean, for an Ursa to be above a Tinker and a Nature's Prophet in net worth, there's a lot of. I think it would have to have had the Nature's Prophet and the Tinker would have had to be the ones making the mistakes. Well played to him. It seems like he will end up there. Well guys, I think that's game. Thanks for watching me covering the President of Ass, who just died, on Ursa. He's extremely talented, as you can see. I hope you learned something. I know I definitely did. And I'll see you soon. Thank you.